Point of no return, but still we got to take action. This is so redundant and stupid. Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We've got Cyber Reload in the back. What's up, Cyber?
Hey, bro. Hey, everybody.
Hey, we are mooing along here. Moo.
Moo.
We are looking like we're gonna do
Double
a show.
tasking like a motherfucker.
I was working all day today out in the yard doing the stuff I like to do. I noticed this morning, at some point this afternoon, I noticed I started getting I remember when it was. I was right here. I was doing the live show and it was during the Alex Jones podcast. And I started getting a cramp in my leg. And you guys may have noticed that at one point during the show, I moved my chair like all the way back and I like stretched my legs out like this. And I was laying like that for a while. I had this pain going from my ankle all the way up into my buttock on my left side. And it was inside my thigh, like sciatica. It was like you could feel the muscle. It was just like aching. And I just ignored it all day. I did my shit. I worked and whatever. And then tonight I was going to do a live show. And then I was just not feeling it. I got some bad news. And it just kind of put me down a little bit. It kind of put me not in a mood to go live. Here, let me turn up the sound here on y'all.
John Welder.
Hey.
They say pickle juice prevents cramps.
Oh, I love pickle juice. Maybe I'll try that. Scott Benoit. Hey, how's it going? It's going good, Scott and Patrick. What's up? And let me just speak for the voice there. Moo. It's like ask like a question, and I had the volume down on that, but he says moo like it's a question. So I just kind of felt this leg cramp, and I was like, just didn't feel like doing the show, man, and I went back. I decided to turn in early. It's like 7:00. And I just went and I got in bed because my leg wasn't feeling that good. And I went to sleep. And my girlfriend called me and I woke up and we talked for a while. I was like out of it when her and I talked. I just woken up and I don't even know if I was making sense. And then her and I were done talking and I tried to go back to sleep and I couldn't. I was laying there in bed. My leg was bothering me just a little bit. So I got up, and as soon as I got up out of bed, my leg, I could feel it again. I was like, put all my weight back on top of that leg. I was like, I'm going to draw a bath. I'm going to soak this thing in hot water. And, maybe by then it'll feel better, So Rogie's still in bed. I draw the bath. I get in there, and I'm soaking in the hot water. And I can just feel it. It's not getting any better. I'm like, Rogie got out of bed. He's like, I want to go out there and say hi to Marie. I was like, okay, buddy. So I opened the door and let him out. I decided to get out of the bathtub because my leg was still hurting me, Put my bathing suit on and I came out here. And I was talking to my mom. I was like, I've had a leg cramp all day. And she's like, let me give you some leg cramp. I was like, what's that? And she's like, it's this stuff. You put 3 pills under your tongue and it'll make your leg cramp go away. And she goes, it works like 100% of the time. It works every time. And I and I was like, really? And Marie was standing there and she's like, yeah, I use that stuff too. It works. And she's like, these women are, my mom's 80 and Marie is, I think she's 70, and they're telling me this stuff works for them. And I'm like, okay. So she gave me 3 pills, popped them under my tongue. They hadn't even fully dissolved yet. And I was walking through the house. I was like, I'm not feeling my leg cramp anymore. And I said to my mom, I was like, Mom, how long does this stuff usually take to work? And she's like, a few minutes. Why? How you feeling? I was like, I'm feeling all right. I was feeling perfect. Like 100%. The cramp's gone. I thought it might be a pulled muscle, Guess it was a leg cramp all day. And yeah, I'm totally going to try pickle juice though, bro, because I love pickle juice. And by the time I had dissolved the pills under my tongue, I didn't even drink. My mom's like, "You need to drink water." I was like, "I didn't."
Mike Pasquarello.
Ice, you're back, bro. Tell us about the show, bro. How was the
Cheers.
show, man? All right. No law regarding cannabis. Iceman is here. Cheers, everybody. Cyber.
Yep. Let me
Cheers.
find a corner.
Oh.
Yep.
Corner boy. There's a cyber trying to get high in the corner.
I'm in the
waiting
corner
for trendy nay. Oh, all right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Ice.
Scott
Cheers, Ice.
Benoit. Cheers. Tony Zani. Good evening, Nay.
Dude, I went down a
Mike
rabbit hole.
Pasquarello. Cheers, Cyber.
I went down a Ukraine rabbit
Tony
hole today.
Zani.
Oh my God.
Cheers.
You can't believe how much support for this war there is out there. People are psychotic over it. There's people who've had Twitter accounts for 10 years, and all of a sudden they're starting to activate their Twitter account and start to use it just so they can get on and cheer this war on. So I found a tweet from this guy. He's a government official. He got into it with Donald Trump. It was something over him and his brother. You guys might remember the two brothers that were very high officials. One of them, I guess, was a whistleblower. Donald Trump tried to throw him under the bus, and this guy went and testified against the establishment, basically, and he stood his ground, and he's doing pundit work and shit and whatever. But I just saw him. He did a tweet, and he showed a picture of the bridge that got blown up. You guys might know about that. And he's like, I've been dreaming of this moment. So I think what's the most interesting thing about that tweet is to go through and read the responses and see, at first, all of my people that I follow, I see all of their responses first. And it's funny. There's like 10 people that I follow. They were all jumped on that motherfucker. And they were like, yeah, dude, I even said something to him. I'm like, you're cheering war. That was all I said. I was like, you're cheering war, And there were other people that had the same sentiment as me, like 10 other people that I follow and whatever. But then I got through those first 10 tweets, man. I started reading what the supporters, his supporters, people who support Ukraine, people who support the war. And the propaganda movies that have come out on Netflix to support their cause is psychotic. So you start going through the tweet responses, and people are putting up links to videos and movies and other people and information, all kinds of shit. And they're all
Big Mac 83.
Yo. They're all cheering the war on. But what I'm saying is the level of support that they're screaming for, right? And the amount of people that are out there doing this, it's overwhelming. You can't even imagine how much support this war has.
Hello, chat.
Have we not learned anything from our past? Did Afghanistan not teach us anything? I mean, we're not going to be happy until we see Ukrainians falling off the wings of planes to their deaths. Then maybe we'll remember how much war sucks. How people, are desperate to leave misery. And we're going to create more misery in that country. We're going to make Afghanistan look like fucking Disney World when we're done with Ukraine. You have no idea what's in store. I got a little taste of it tonight.
James McGill.
I'm going to tell you what I saw.
Cheers, Nay.
There's people in very high influential positions, not just in our government, but famous people who talk to politicians and have influence over them and whatever. They're not just cheering this on. They're planning a long, never-ending war with Russia. This is what they want. Don't ever try to fucking kid yourselves about this, okay? It's a fact. Yeah, if you don't mind, I mean, you can turn it off, but I like having the extra light. Okay, great. Wow. I look better with more light. So I got to adjust the aperture here, though, because my masa kung fu better than your masa kung fu. You'll see. So you shouldn't see that blur when my hand moves, so the aperture is too bright. Anyway, I've stared into the belly of the beast, guys, and I'm here to tell you that this is not going to end. As loud as voices out there that oppose this can possibly scream, they will go unheard in this ocean of support that this war has from Americans. I mean,
James McGill. You look like Chuck Norris and shit cheers.
What he said was, I've been dreaming of this moment. And it made me think of the Phil Collins song. It's a little different. He says, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. But, it's got the same vibe. It's got that same, revenge. I've been waiting to get revenge for a long, long time. And we seem all supportive of all the people that are running from Russia, all the Russians that are running out of Russia to get away from Putin, that don't want to fight in the war. And we're all supportive and loving of them and opening on the rest of the world's opening up their arms to them and stuff.
Cassie,
and what, are we going to nuke this
where's
country?
The bear?
What, are we going to nuke this country? Or what are we going to do? Are we going to
Cassie, where's Rogan?
Are we going to kill the very people that agree with us that we shouldn't be having this war? Agree with me, at least. I can't. This aperture is driving me crazy. I could see it. I could see the lag. Give me a second, man. I can fix this. I know it's darker. But it gets rid of that blur, when I move. My Maybe a little too bright there, but there we go. I think that's good. Right? Maybe a little more color. Okay, that's good. I think we're good. I know it's a little white in my face, but it gets rid of that
Cybernation Uncensored. Hi.
Hey, Robert.
Cybernation Uncensored.
Robert Mulligan, how are you, buddy? It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Hey, dude, I've just got some 20-pound dumbbells. I'm so happy. I haven't had 20-pound dumbbells in 6 months, bro. I left them in California, and I finally ordered some, and I ordered them a long time ago, but they wouldn't come in. They kept denying my delivery. So I kept ordering different brands and shit. Finally, they brought me a set. So I've got, I can do curls, which is great, instead of using bricks outside, which is what I was using. I built a waterfall, bro, outside in my mom's fountain. She's got a fountain, and I made a waterfall in the back, and it's on these rocks. It's dripping down. I made a video of it.
Cybernation Uncensored.
But I don't know where my phone is. Isn't
nice.
This weird? I don't see my phone. I'm almost positive I had my phone with me. But Mom, you don't see my phone out there, do you?
Your phone? Are you missing a phone?
Yeah. No big deal. Okay, it's probably in my bedroom.
I saw it earlier, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's probably in the bedroom. I'll get it. I don't know. I just didn't bring it out because my leg was all cramped up. Oh, you found it? Okay.
You want it?
Yes, please. Okay. Have a good night. Thank you. Good night, Mom. Love you.
And it was very.
So this is something that Cyber, say goodnight. She'd already closed her door, I think. Oh, no. Cyber says good night. Good night. So this is something everybody's going to be interested in. This is Roger Waters on Joe Rogan. And you know, this was another rabbit hole that I went down, and I was reading people, their posts about this, about him, after what he said, calling him an anti-Semite. Dude, when you go anti-Semite, when you say that is, you might as well call someone a pedophile in America. You know, it's the same level of disgust that we've had in this country for years for people that hate Jews. You know, you can agree that, you know, with that sentiment, that's fine. I totally understand people that find that offensive, right? But that animosity, when you want to take out a pedophile, when people say that someone hates Jews, and they're telling people they basically hate that person as much as they would hate a pedophile, you realize it's a very, very, even today, and it's not as bad as it was, say, 20 years ago, because, you know, Israel has done themselves a lot of damage with the way they've been handling Palestine. You know, facts, right? But even today, when you call someone an anti-Semite, you are basically ending their career. If people believe that, if they go back and they listen to what the person said, and they are convinced that that person is anti-Semitic, might as well be calling them a pedophile. Same thing, you know? So it's a very serious allegation, right? Would you believe if I told you that people are literally accusing Roger Waters for something that he said? And let me tell you something, we're going to listen to what he said, and it's not anti-Semitic, of being an anti-Semite, basically calling him a pedophile. You know, that same extent of hatred, of disgust. Okay. Here it is.
At the end of it,
and you know, I love his manner. I love his calmness. You know, he comes off as the musical genius and deep thinker that we all know he is. You know, he wrote those songs decades ago.
So we did this gig, and at the end of it, and it was lovely. They were extremely enthusiastic. They knew the work very well, and it was very
cherry pie.
Pink Floyd.
He's telling a story. He was in Israel.
And lovely food backstage, and it was a warm summer evening. At the end of it, I thought, I'm going to say something. It was euphoric at the end of the gig. And I said, so I made a little speech, and I went, you are the generation of young Israelis who need to make peace with your neighbors, start talking to the Palestinian Authority, and the blah, blah.
This is called misreading the crowd.
Blah, blah, and whatever, and da, da, da. And they went from Pink Floyd to nothing. It was like steel shutters had come down behind the...
Now, listen. He quoted himself just now, and he said, I said some things, you know, I made some comments, and I said, you guys need to come together with the Palestinian people, right? This tweet came off from a guy who said, this is evidence that Roger Waters is an anti-Semite. Okay, wait for it. Wait for it.
eyeballs of every one.
I'm
of
packed
those
and loaded.
60,000 young
It's
ladies.
top of the hour, 5 minutes late. Cyber?
And I was staggered.
Packed and loaded.
No law regarding cannabis. Everybody cheers. Cheers,
And
Cyber.
I was really shocked,
Oh,
really,
cheers, everybody.
really, really shocked. I couldn't believe it. And I saw it. I went back the next year.
Thank you to them and also to me. I may be speaking out of turn, but I believe that we, the rest of the world, need this generation of Israelis to tear down the walls and to make peace with their neighbors. We love you for it, and we hope to come back, and thank you very much. Here we go.
That's it. That's the video. That's supposed to be the incriminating.
Wow.
That's supposed to be the incriminating audio that makes him an anti-Semite. So listen to what he said.
The rest of the world need this generation of Israelis to tear down the walls and to make peace.
Now, Cyber, where would he have gotten that phrase, tear down the walls?
Yeah, that's from his own fucking song, man.
Oh, well, what song was that, Cyber?
Another breaking the wall.
Ba-na-na, bow, bow-na-na, bow, bow-na-na, bow. And the crowd in the background is screaming, tear down the walls, tear down the... And you know what? It was a direct quote from his song, and it had meaning for every single person that knows that song. And it's got meaning for anybody else that remembers what happened when they tore down the wall, the Berlin Wall. You know, it's good memories, it's good sentiment, and he's not saying tear down the Wailing Wall or the Western Wall. That's
Sean,
not what he
aka
said.
Trendy Orca.
He didn't say tear
Good
down
evening,
the
Nate.
Temple of Jerusalem. He didn't say that. He made a direct reference to his own song, and we all know that. And this moron, okay, now, stick with me on this. This moron on Twitter is trying to use that as some kind of a death blow to him, to call him an anti-Semite. And the responses that support this fucking cunt are insane. How crazy people are over about, him being called an anti-Semite and agreeing with that and saying, yes, that is evidence. He's definitely anti-Semitic. And then, of course, there's all the people like me that are like, dude, just shut up. Just shut up. You don't even know what you're talking about. He's not anti-Semitic. The reason why Joe Rogan didn't call him out on his anti-Semitism is because Joe Rogan listened to Pink Floyd too. And he knew it wasn't an anti-Semitic statement when he said tear down the wall. I'm assuming tear down the wall was the statement that got this guy so upset, because that's when he basically ended the audio recording. Now, let me go back and show you the tweet, okay? Are you ready for this?
Sean, aka Trendy Orca. Roger Waters is and never has been an anti-Semite.
Dude, are you kidding me? The movie that he made, when you go watch The Wall, the movie, there's Nazi representations in there. There's Jews being marched to gas chambers represented in there. He exposed the whole fucking thing for exactly what it was. And he used the imagery because he was against war, man. I mean, if you took that any other way, you're a fucking idiot. He had a fucking an armband, remember? They had flags behind him, and he looked like Adolf fucking Hitler. There was no mistaking that. And the reason he used that imagery was because it terrified him. And it should terrify everybody. And this is where we are today with all these people cheering on this, not only calling him an anti-Semite, but all these people cheering on this fucking war. And there is some kind of a psychosis, and we don't see ourselves for who we are. So I think it's very important that you look at this tweet. Right here, this is Michael Elgort. And look, he's got a Star of David and and a war flag, the Ukrainian flag, in his profile, right? And his @ is just underscore whatever. And he says, let me show with a definitive proof how blatantly Roger Waters lied in his appearance on Joe Rogan podcast yesterday. See, the lie is that he's supposedly saying is he didn't say tear down the wall when he was talking to Joe. He said, well, I addressed the audience and I said, basically, you need to come together with the Palestinians. When they play the recording of it, he basically said the same thing, and he used a term that would
Sean,
help,
aka Trendy The war was anti-war plus the movie The War
exactly
was terrifying.
bring up that anti-war sentiment. Thank you, Sean. Those were the words I was looking for. That would demonstrate the anti-war sentiment that he always puts out there. He's anti-war. And this guy, Michael Elgort, I don't know who he is. He's like, I don't know, right? He's got Star of David. So I'm assuming that he might be a Jewish guy. And for him to be calling Roger Waters an anti-Semite, I'm telling you, for a Jew to, it's one thing when a Republican says it, or some stupid ass squad member or whatever the fuck. Nobody fucking cares. You shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. But when an actual Jewish person comes out and publicly calls somebody an anti-Semite, man, it is a serious, serious charge. And this motherfucker,
Sean, aka Trendy
totally missed the boat.
Especially with the kids being put in a meat grinder was horrifying.
What the fuck? I don't know how he tries to put this together, but we're going to go through some of these responses because I want you to notice that this fucking cunt got 1,671 likes. And not only that, the big thing is he got over 600 fucking retweets on this tweet. So let's go through it. He says, let me show with the definitive proof how blatantly Roger Waters lied in his appearance on Joe Rogan podcast yesterday. This guy doesn't know how to type tweets. What an idiot. I could have written that. I would have said, maybe he's Israeli and it's his second language. Okay, so I'll lay off him. I won't attack him on that. Watch till the end, which we did. That's when they showed the clip of Roger Waters saying what he said. And you could hear people cheering for what he said. Waters is an anti-Semite not because he criticizes Israeli government, but because he lies and vilifies Jews. Rogan agreed and never challenged him. So he never lied and vilified Jews. So Rogan had I mean, we could watch the whole clip again. It's only 1 minute and 37 seconds long, and you guys can judge for yourselves.
So we did this gig, and at the end of it, and it was lovely. They were extremely enthusiastic. They knew the work very well, and it was very Pink Floyd and all of that.
It almost seems like he likes Israeli people. Listen to the way he's talking about them. He's saying really nice things about them. This is a lovely event. The people were so supportive and screaming for Pink Floyd. Huh.
Sean, aka
Doesn't sound like an
Trendy
anti-Semite to me.
Hope Roger Waters sues this idiot for defamation of character.
He doesn't need to because he's not worried about that shit. I bet you he won't because he doesn't fucking care. And that dude, Michael Elgort, he probably doesn't have any money. He's probably just a nobody. I could look and see who he is. I don't know who he is. Let's see. So, I don't know who he is, but he's got 12,000 fucking followers. So he must be somebody. So I don't know who he is. I'd have to Google him because he's not saying who he is in his profile. With 12,800 followers, I have a feeling he's somebody. So anyway, let's keep listening to Roger Waters.
And lovely food backstage, and it was a warm summer evening. At the end of it, I thought, I'm going to say something. It was euphoric at the end of the gig. And I said, so I made a little speech, and I went,
why would you feel euphoric hanging out with a bunch of Jews if you were an anti-Semite? Huh. Why would you be euphoric? See, every single thing he says goes against what Michael Elgort stated, calling him an anti-Semite, right? Every single thing that he just says, just speaking about the event, just recalling the event. He's not trying to He's not trying to protect himself right now. He's just relaying what happened. And even without getting this accusation thrown in his face, he's defending himself just by speaking.
You are the generation of young Israelis who need to make peace with your neighbors, start talking to the Palestinian Authority and the blah, 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 and whatever, and da, da, da.
Blah, blah,
And they
blah,
went,
and whatever.
Pink Floyd, nothing.
Nothing.
It was like steel shutters had come down behind the eyeballs of every one of those 60,000 young Israelis. They were gone. And I was staggered by that.
Okay, I get it.
And I was really shocked, really, really, really shocked.
Okay, so we don't know which show he's talking about because he's mentioning 2 shows. We need that for context. Okay, so I can't comment until I know the dates. Then we have to listen to the recording. And then, what's to say that fucking recording wasn't, cheers weren't added in to a fucking recording? It is not necessarily a real recording. I don't know. You know how people fuck with audio now.
I couldn't believe it. And I saw it. I went back the next year.
So his anti-Semitism is saying how unsupportive the Israelis were of the idea of coming together with the Palestinians. So that's his anti-Semitism, is throwing them under the bus, so to speak. That's what Michael Elgort is saying. I get it. I get his idea now. Let's see if he can prove it with this audio recording again.
Deal to them and also to me. And I may be
Okay, so this says 22606. So it was 2 months ago, this show, right? It doesn't sound like he's saying the same thing that he's talking about. He's talking about 2 different events. Remember that? You guys heard him say he was talking about 2 events. He's like, the year before, right?
be speaking out of turn, but I believe that we, the rest of the world, need this generation of Israelis to tear down the walls and to make peace with their neighbors. We love you for it, and we hope to come back, and thank you very much. Here we go.
It did die off. So, dude, when he said the crowd, you could hear a pin drop basically. Did you hear that? They did scream out for a while, and then all of a sudden he had to keep them going because they stopped. You can hear it in that audio clip. Now, you can argue that, perception, whatever, but anti-Semitic over his recollection of a night 2 months ago, a show. How many shows has he played? I wonder how many times he's played in Israel. And when he plays in Israel, does he just do one show? I got a lot of questions. Just because there's a recording and it says a date on the recording doesn't mean that's from that show. So I need full context. I can't comment on something unless I know what it is that I'm looking at and I know what is I'm seeing. But now is the fun part. Now you got to see some of these fucking responses. Check this out. So I said, still waiting for this proof. Still waiting for this proof you mentioned that he's an anti-Semite. It's Mary Lou says, yes, peace with our neighbors is terrifying. It's funny. Shame on you. You're wrong and you're vilifying someone with the courage to speak out against a horrible situation that needs to stop. I don't get it. What's the lie here? What's anti-Semitic? This is a blue check. We should read the replies here. Are you deaf? He said the audience went silent when he promoted peace with Palestine. The audio recording shows the audience cheering after he says that. Lol. John Brown. He's got 30 followers. You know, you got to watch these accounts, because when you hear about bot accounts, you know, don't think about bots, okay? Think about people with alternate accounts that just come in there to subvert, to cause discourse, to cause arguing and fighting, infighting, ripping us apart.
Wendy Johnson. Doggy, did you leave California because you didn't get good internet?
No, but I do have some really good internet now, buddy. That's not why. No, my father isn't doing that great. So I'm here to be with my parents right now, because it's rough. My father's turning 90 years old, and you know.
That's quite an age.
Let's keep going through these tweets here. Again, what's anti-Semitic over here? Again, I'm addressing what's the lie here, and lying about 60,000 Jews being angry that he started talking about peace might come off as anti-Semitic. Lol. Don't you love people who put lol after everything they say? You know, you're just like, shut the fuck up, dude. He encouraged young people of Israel to strive for peace instead of war.
Wendy Johnson. Totally respect that. Family first, brother.
Yeah, let me put my blinds down here, guys. Give me a second. This will make us quieter. So my mom, she's going to sleep, and I just this will really help, just in case, you know, we get a little hot and bothered in here. So pretty typical. Smearing the opposition as anti-Semitic. It's a common tactic. Run a cut-up clip from the concert. Ignore everything else about the apartheid he described. Laughing my ass off. This script will eventually be revamped by something else. Dude, I'm following you, bro. I'm even retweeting you. That's how you do that shit, son. Exactly. Roger's kind heart can afford to speak kindness in spite of any bankers present. Bankers. So this is anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic. You refer to Jews, Israelis as bankers. That's a fucking anti-Semitic trope. And there's not a way around that. You know, you can't say that's anything else. So now you know what real anti-Semitism looks like. Right there. All right, did you learn something? I hope you did. All right. Yep, you know, Israelis and Jews famous for agreeing on one thing and reacting to it exactly the same way in unison. This totally happened and is not at all fabricated. Whatever. Tongue in cheek. I was there. I can vouch for the fact that the entire crowd of 60,000 cheered when he said it was up to us to make peace. When we went quiet was when he told a rambling, condescending story about how he'd once met a nice Lebanese man, as if he was enlightening us. Oh. Well, let me just say this. So there was a time when the crowd went silent, and he could have mistaken one time for another. Absolutely. Still doesn't make him an anti-Semite, you know? So this guy claims he was there. But he's talking about 2 different years. First year there was silence, then the next year there were cheers. He was talking about 2 different years, and I got confused of which one he was referring to. So, there you go. Not sure how you can expect Rogan to challenge him on this in that moment. Rogan obviously was not there, so how would he know it's a lie exactly? Right? How dare Joe Rogan, an anti-Semite? And listen, that's the trope right now, man. Is calling Joe Rogan an anti-Semite and a Republican and racist and all kinds of shit. That's the trope. You don't fall for it. Don't take the bait. Please. I hope that's why you watch this show. Wheezy says, sing the songs, mate. I love them, but that's it. With your button-down lips and your roller-blind eyes. I think it's confused his lyrics with real life. Yeah, no, I don't think so. To be fair, Waters might have been so hammered during the concert and so hammered during the Joe Rogan interview that he has no memory of this. Okay, there you go. It's a good arguing point right there. This isn't the first time Roger Waters has told this lie and been called out for it. He's a pitiful liar and a vile anti-Semite. Wow. Dude, let me tell you something. A vile anti-Semite doesn't agree to perform in Israel for Israelis, you know? And Ned North, let's see how old this account is. Yeah, it says Poke the Bear, and it says he's got 528 followers. He could have a new account. I'm not sure. It doesn't tell me. I don't want to click on anything, but this is Roger Waters caught red-handed lying about Jewish Israeli audience. It's a minute-long clip. Maybe we should watch it.
And they were very, very enthusiastic, and they knew all my work and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the show, I made a little speech where I said something like, it behoves you, this generation of young Israelis, to make peace with your neighbors and blah, blah, blah. And they went from, we love Pink Floyd, to, boom. What the fuck is he talking about? We're not going to do that. Hit the guys, what? And they were completely silent from that moment on. And I thought, wow, this was a huge revelation to me.
I may be speaking out of turn, but I believe that we, the rest of the world, need this generation of Israelis to tear.
This is the other clip. This is, see, this says June 22nd. All of a sudden, this one says 2006. See, it says 2006. So, fuck these guys. Everyone's got, you know, a clip from 2006. Whatever, dude.
Context matters.
Oh, my God. Anyway, your takeaway from this story is Roger Waters is not an anti-Semite, guys. There's a lot of anti-Semites that are posting on here. If you want to know what an anti-Semite is, go back to that guy that calls Jews bankers, you know? There's a fucking anti-Semite right there. I got some goddamn cannabis to bank on right now myself, personally. It's bottom of the hour. You guys feel like smoking along?
I'm all unpacked and ready.
Okay, no law regarding cannabis, everybody. Cheers. My Twitter video has 0 viewers on Twitter.
Scott Benoit. Cheers, Trendies.
And then the Alex Jones trial was crazy, wasn't it? The global elites.
Mr. Blow 313 Setstfin. Sup.
global elites. Oh, this guy says, dude, check this shit out.
Of this year. Second,
Mr. Blow
the Biden
313 sets
administration
fin.
has reacted to the outbreak of the war by doubling down against Russia. Washington and
Look,
its
it's
Western allies
Robert Schuman
are
Center,
committed
guys.
to decisively defeating Russia in Ukraine.
So this guy's a professor at it's Professor John Mearsheimer. He's giving a lecture, dude, on the war. And you know, when you hear all these other people talking about Ukraine and stuff, it's so interesting to hear this guy just totally expose America. Listen to this.
Employing comprehensive sanctions to greatly weaken Russian power. The United States is not seriously interested in finding a diplomatic solution to the war, which means the war is likely to drag on for months, if not years. In the process, Ukraine, which has already suffered grievously, is going to experience even greater harm. In essence, the United States and its allies are helping lead Ukraine down the primrose path. Furthermore,
you guys just think about that. I'm going to pull it up in another window.
Circle Hippie for 20 Hashman. Hi Nate and everyone hash.
Hey, Circle Hippie Hashman. Bye bye Blue Jaws. What's up, guys?
Ukraine down the primrose path. Furthermore, there's a danger that the war will escalate as NATO might get dragged into the fighting and nuclear weapons might be used. We live in perilous times. Let me now lay out my argument in greater detail.
Circle Hippie for 20
starting with a
Hashman.
description of the
Big up, bless up,
conventional
one
wisdom
love from the city of
about the
Covina,
causes of the
California
conflict.
hash.
It is
Okay.
Circle Hippie for 20 Hashman. Hope you're having a great weekend, man.
All right, listen to what he says, what he's going to lay out for you right here.
Out my argument in greater detail, starting with a description of the conventional wisdom about the causes of the conflict.
Okay, so what he's going to say right now is this is what people believe. This is the narrative. This is what mainstream media preaches. And this is what all you people who think that this fucking war is a great thing, this is the fucking, the lie that you've been sold on. He's going to give it to you right here.
It is widely and firmly believed in the West that Putin is solely responsible for causing the Ukraine crisis and certainly the ongoing war. He is said to have imperial ambitions, which is to say he is bent on conquering Ukraine and other countries as well, all for the purposes of creating a greater Russia that bears at least some resemblance to the former Soviet Union. In other words, Ukraine is Putin's first target, but not his last.
I mean, how many times have you heard that? When these pundits from fucking Lockheed Martin and Raytheon come on and push war on mainstream media, Fox News, CNN, CSNBC, all of them. This is the exact same thing you hear over and over again.
As one scholar put it recently, he is, quote, acting on a sinister, long-held belief to erase Ukraine from the map of the world. Given Putin's purported goals, it makes perfect sense for Finland and Sweden to join NATO and for the alliance to increase its force levels in Eastern Europe. After all, Imperial Russia must be contained.
Right.
Well, this narrative is repeated over and over in the mainstream media and by virtually every Western leader.
All right, I'm ready.
Cheers,
no
everybody. No law regarding
evidence
cannabis.
to
Cheers.
support it.
Cheers.
I want to repeat that. There is no evidence to
Thanks for waiting.
support it. To the extent that purveyors of the conventional wisdom provide evidence, It has little, if any,
Circle hippie for
bearing
20
on
hashman.
Putin's motives for invading
Cheers, Nate
Ukraine.
and everyone. Puff, puff,
For
pass.
example, some emphasize that he said that
Circle hippie for
Ukraine is
20
an
hashman.
artificial state,
Hash
or
NLRC.
it is not a real state. Such opaque comments, however, say nothing about his reason for going to war. The same is true of Putin's statement that he views Russians and Ukrainians as quote unquote one people with a common history. Others point out that he called the collapse of the Soviet Union, quote, the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century. Of course, he also said, whoever does not miss the Soviet Union has no heart. Whoever wants it back has no brain. Still others point out that he said modern Ukraine was entirely created by Russia, or to be more precise, by Bolshevik communist Russia, end of quote. But he went on to say in the same speech, quote, of course, we cannot change past events, but we must at least admit them openly and honestly. To make the case that Putin was bent on conquering all of Ukraine and incorporating it into Russia, it is necessary to provide evidence that first, he thought it was a desirable goal, that second, he thought it was a feasible goal, and third, he intended to pursue that goal. There is no evidence, let me repeat, there is no evidence in the public record that Putin was contemplating, much less intending, to put an end to Ukraine as an independent state and make it part of a greater Russia when he sent his troops into Ukraine on February 24th. In fact, there is significant evidence that Putin recognized Ukraine as an independent country. In his July 12th, 2021 article, which I assume many of you have looked at, about Russian-Ukrainian relations, which proponents of the conventional wisdom often point to as evidence of his imperial ambitions, he tells the Ukrainian people in that article, you want to establish a state of your own? You are welcome. Regarding how Russia should treat Ukraine, he writes, there is only one answer, with respect. He concludes that lengthy article with the following words, and what Ukraine will be, it is up to its citizens to decide. That's not evidence of somebody who's interested in swallowing Ukraine and making it part of Russia. In that same July 12th, 2021 article, and again in an important speech he gave on February 21st of this year, Putin emphasized that Russia accepts, quote, the new geopolitical reality that took shape after the dissolution of the USSR. He reiterated that same point for a third time on February 24th, when he announced that Russia would invade Ukraine. He also made it clear that it is not our plan to occupy Ukrainian territory,
Edwin Sparks.
and that he respected Ukrainian sovereignty, but only up to a point. To be a bit more specific and quote him, Russia cannot feel safe, develop, and exist while facing a permanent threat from the territory of today's Ukraine. In essence, Putin was not interested in making Ukraine part of Russia. He was interested in making sure it did not become, quote unquote, a springboard for Western aggression against Russia, a subject I will say more about shortly. One might argue that Putin was lying about his motives.
Right. So you're probably thinking that. You're like, well, yeah, but that's all just stuff that Putin says, right?
That he was attempting to disguise his imperial ambitions. As it turns out, I have written a book, one of the few books, about lying in international politics. It's entitled Why Leaders Lie, The Truth About Lying in International Politics. And it is clear to me that Putin was not lying. For starters, one of my principal findings in the book is that leaders do not lie much to each other. They lie more often to their own publics. Regarding Putin, whatever.
God, that's so fucking true, too. This guy makes really good points. So I think you should, guys, watch this. It's a 2-hour lecture. So I'll give you a link to it, and I've tweeted it. But here is a link to it in the chat. If you guys are going to listen to this seminar, we're not going to listen to it anymore right now. But I wanted to turn you on to some of that because I want you to hear the alternate narrative, besides what you've been hearing in the goddamn media and what you see people reposting on the internet. It's a good listen. So those of you who are interested in, the truth about shit. Okay, let's do this. So, there was one other thing. I was going to talk about the responses to one of the tweets that I had seen.
Mr. Blow 313 Sextfin. Minutes.
Oh, it was about Ukraine. It was from that guy. Yeah. I would have responded. Okay, it'll be under tweets and replies. You got to see the people that cheer on the war. Alexander S. Vindman. That's the guy. Here's a picture of him. There's a picture of the guy. So you've probably seen him on TV. He had a big issue, Donald Trump and shit. Yeah, he's got a brother. Now they should go up there on TV now and shit. Anyway, he put this tweet up right here. So it's a picture of the bridge getting blown up over there in Russia, Ukraine, which is a advantage for Ukraine, right? So they figure it was Ukraine that did it. Some civilians got killed, but nobody's talking about that really. So this guy Alexander S. Vindman, he's a white Czech. I don't know the difference between a white Czech and a blue Czech, but he's obviously for real. And he said, "I've been dreaming of this moment." In regards to that, so my response was,
Mr. Blow 313 Sextfin. Drop the Discord link to PLZ. Cough.
It's you cheer war. is what I said to him, right? But then look at all the likes he got. 68,500 likes, 6,705 retweets, right? Look at this shit.
Trendy Bro Mandalorian. Happy Saturday.
I don't know where to get the Discord link from. NBK server. Invite people. There it is. Copy. Okay, here's the link. Hey, Trendy Bro Mandalorian. Now, wait do you guys see some of these responses? So Patricia Dowling, I follow her. She says, "You've been dreaming of a suicide bomber killing 3 civilians and destroying infrastructure? That's sick and shockingly irresponsible. You're literally celebrating terrorism at a time when the world is poised on the brink of nuclear Armageddon." I only got 12 likes. I'll retweet her. This guy, Michael Ravelas, I don't follow him. He says no one should be celebrating destruction. People should be calling for peace, warmonger. I like that, dude. I'll retweet that. I'll follow this dude. You've been dreaming of dead civilians? I said, you cheer war, right? I'll bet you have, coward, right? These are all the people that I follow. Friends of followers and shit. Fucking hilarious. Dreaming of killing civilians and disabling a bridge for only several hours. You're pathetic. Follow that guy too. It's fucking great. Even if you feel it was justified, remember 3 people died. War is awful and should not be celebrated. By reducing Russia's ability to supply its army, it shortens the conflict, saving countless lives. I suspect that's the bit he's actually celebrating. Whatever, you fucking warmonger. And this is the kind of shit you start seeing at this point. You start going through and you start seeing blue and yellow shit and fucking blue wave shit. And someone says, what a shame you had to wake up to the bridge being reopened less than 12 hours later. So you keep going through these. That's fucking funny. I love this meme, bro. This is one of my favorite memes. Oh, God, I love that. Never thought I'd see governments and former military celebrate things like this. True colors will always come out. That's well said. Right there. You know? Know your Western genocide apologist. You're a type E. That's funny.
Big Mac 83.
The Peacenik.
My son and I picked up a second edition Axis and Allies tonight. Has anyone played that?
No, I never played it. Nope. Never tried it. Name ring a bell though, but I never tried it.
Dude, these responses get crazier and crazier
Margie
the deeper
Gattrell.
you go.
Hello, how are you doing tonight?
Dude.
Big Mac 83. WW2 board game.
Dude, they fixed that fucking bridge already. With lights and everything? Are you kidding me?
Big Mac 83. $80.
$80. Oh, you mean there's a bunch of civilians that use that goddamn bridge all the time? Huh. Yeah. Great fucking war prize. All of these videos are showing the trains running, the fucking cars are driving across the bridge. Everybody's such a troll, man. I love it. Look, trains are running, motherfucker. Damn.
Big Mac 83. Scary Bridge.
I could read through those. They're hilarious. Stephen Miller's trending. Is he testifying? Or something?
Big Mac 83. Hash keep it open.
The only thing Stephen Miller lacks more than a soul is a hairline. It's not the moon. It's Stephen Miller's head. Oh, look, I'm Stephen Miller. Oh, I have no hair on my face. Oh. uh,
The freaking Oracle Show. We are Live V.
Yo, what's up, live boy? You live, son? You live over there on your channel? Your channel? nerve itch under my toe. Scratch it with my toenail from my foot. It's crazy. It's like a phantom thing.
Whore dog. Hey nay.
Whore dog, what's up? Oh, yeah, they were marching for Julian Assange.
Tula
Today.
Rose.
Hey, Tula.
Hey nay.
Marching for Julian Assange in Parliament.
Patrick John Welder.
They're surrounding Parliament with a
Just
human
destroyed
chain,
3 pounds of crab legs.
and they're also they're demonstrating in Washington. Sabby Sabs was there. Hell yeah, Patrick, sounds good, buddy.
Whore dog. We're watching you on the freaking Oracle show.
Whore dog. Hell yeah, you are. Now you're on my show, on watching our Oracle show. It's funny, I should pull up Oracle show and put you back. Dude, what? How did you just put 19 people in here, bro? What did you do? Did you give them my link or something to the show? All of a sudden, my numbers just shot up. I was like, okay. Hey, everybody. I guess we're in business. What's up, I was ready for this, guys. I swear I was not ready for this. Okay, hold on. Because, dude, the cherry pies got me smiling, and super, super duper AF. Dude.
Big Mac
Live
83.
tweeting
Cheers.
from my podcast. Come join us now. YouTube.com/C/trendy as dabbers/live. Boom, dude. We'll bring in some more people, bro. Huh. What else is going on? What do we got going on? We got all these people that just tuned in. What do you guys want to talk about? You want to pull up crypto? I can look at that really fast. Let's not talk about crypto. I can tell you that they're going ahead with giving back. They've started the process of refunding us our crypto. So I'm looking at getting a lot of cash, which would be good. It's like cashing in on my investment, but not making not making the profit that I could have. It's basically, if they don't pay us
That's
back,
better than losing it
yeah, it's
in the end.
if they don't pay us back in crypto, if they pay us back in cash, we'll lose all the value of that crypto. But I think they're gonna return the crypto. So we just kind of gotta wait. So there's a bunch of people on YouTube that are covering what they're doing. So I watch these shows all the time and listen to what people are saying, and I go check out some of the documentation that they link up and stuff. Hot take. Cars shouldn't exist. It's got 644 likes, dude. God damn, cars shouldn't exist? Fuck you. How about that? Your face shouldn't exist. How about that? You know? My mom and I were watching Hoda. Who in my audience knows who Hoda is? Let me know.
Who?
Hoda.
No idea.
Who in my audience knows? I said to my mom, I'm like, I just hate her face. And she goes, what? What do you mean you hate her face? You can't just hate someone based on their face. It's not her fault. I go, I hate her face. I hate her face. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Hoda. And there's nothing you can do that's going to change how I feel about Hoda's fucking face. I hate her fucking face. So nobody knows who Hoda is. Not a single person in the chat. Lost 5 people. Okay. I was gonna do a bong rip, man. Top of the hour. For the 5 people who left, let's do a memorial
Tony Zanny.
memorial bong rip for them.
She has a day show right.
No law regarding cannabis. Find a corner.
Yeah, hold on.
Find a corner boy.
Give me a second.
I call Rogan corner boy. It's so funny. I used to call him corner boy. So funny.
All right. Good. I'm ready.
Okay, no law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Summer. Cheers, everybody.
Yes, bro. Cheers, everybody.
I can't believe none of you know who Hoda is. Dude, there's no way that's fucking real. Come on. That's
What?
fucking Photoshop, bro. This right here. It'd be so easy to Photoshop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even Photoshop that color in where some people they fucking color like cat, you know.
People are like, what would you name him? I'll fucking name him Photoshop. Name him fucking Sucker. You're a sucker for thinking that's real. Then there's a fucking video. Wouldn't that be funny if there's a video of the cat? Meow, meow. And then the thing's like, that thing underneath him, it's like real. It's like a real ghost.
Chula Rose. Chill cat, chill dog, good vibes.
Chill cat, chill dog, good vibes. Chill skull. Let's see what people are saying about that. Punisher, it's the Punisher skull. There it is. It's literally a Photoshop of the Punisher skull.
Chula Rose. Not goodbye.
Isn't that funny, dude? Isn't that funny? That's the Punisher skull. It's Very similar, except that, wow, look at that dog, dude. That's crazy. Just putting weird shit up there. Look at this dog right here. The dog's face is crazy. Someone's like, I name him Photoshop. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Someone else said Photoshop. Two people said Photoshop. Photoshop fuzzy pants. Photoshop. A lot of people would name him Frank after the Punisher. That's funny.
Name him what, Frank?
Yeah, it was the Punisher's name. Right?
Ah, yeah. I must admit, I don't know that. I haven't. I've seen the movie, but I don't fucking recall his name in the movie. It could be Frank. It could be John. It could be Billy. It could be May.
Robert.
It could be anyone.
Dumb. To be a moron. Yeah, to be moronical. Exactly. To be a moron. To be stupid or dumb. To be a moron. Yeah, to be moronical. Exactly. To be a moron. An imbecile. Yeah. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived. Exactly. To be a moron. To be a moron. Yeah, to be moronical. Exactly. To be a moron. Jack. Stupid ass Jack. Trying to come back from that. By the end of the whole thing, I was like, wait a minute, I flushed so much out. How am I going to jumpstart it up again? It's just like, yeah, right? You was farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off. Yeah.
Oh, that motherfucker just made me laugh. Oh, fucking Joe, dude. Not goodbye, says Tula. Ukraine has just admitted to blowing up the Kerch Bridge. Zelensky's advisor, Podolyak, has said the explosion is just the beginning. I wonder what Russia's missile capacity is as far as accuracy, pinpointing people, stuff like that, how their intelligence is. If they can put a missile, like right on somebody. I wonder if they're going to assassinate some motherfuckers. Damn, that shit looks good without the tomato. Fucking hamburger pizza. It looks good. Believe me, it looks good. Look at that thing right there. It's just like take the tomato out. Is that tomatoes?
Jimmy William
On the
Watts.
top? Or is that
Mayo.
pizza sauce? Oh, my bad. Dude, I the red swirls on top, guys, I don't think those are tomatoes. But if they are, they're like baked on or whatever. They'd be good. I think they'd be good. I would totally eat that. Jimmy William Watts, what's up, buddy? Richard Medhurst made me laugh out loud. He's showing the explosion of that fucking bridge. He's like, let me guess, the Russians did this to themselves too, like they did the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. It's funny to see Biden talk about cannabis, but fail to mention that he literally wrote the crime bill, which raised the federal penalty for cannabis. Like, does he think we forget? Where's the sound? Why is there no sound for this audio clip?
What are you doing 5:30 p.m. on Saturday? How many days are you going to be here? Yeah, but this is that. But what about? And we said none of that matters. We're going to figure that out. But
what are you going to do?
So
you asked us what we're going to do. What are you guys going to do?
Here's what we're going to do. The CDC just announced an eviction moratorium, and what we're here is for our reasons known and unknown. So our reasons known was to make sure that we extended this moratorium. That's what we're here to.
What about the 10%? What about the 10%?
Okay, we're going to turn on some music now.
What about the 10%? We can't.
Yeah, let's just drown out the people that have questions. That's great. That's what AOC does. Who was that with her? Let's see here.
We're here at the corner of Artemis Street and Rova Ave, where a
Jimmy
artillery
William
strike by
Watts.
the Kiev regime.
What a crazy world we live in, nay.
I know, right?
Just rocked this intersection. I was about 100 meters away at the time, and as you can see, the devastation is incredible. This is a normal occurrence for the people of Donbass, the people of Donetsk. They are living under this threat every day, and I just got a taste myself. I watched a massive explosion rock this corner. Huge, huge ball of sparks and flames here at my hotel. Shrapnel from the explosions shattered several windows, and that was
Jimmy William
pretty
Watts.
lucky. I feel pretty
Damn
lucky
hurricane.
right now. If I'd have been 30 seconds, a minute faster to get back to my hotel, I was walking back from a restaurant. If I'd been just a few seconds faster, I would have been killed. It's hard to describe this as anything other than terror tactics. This is fascism in action, and it's why so many people here are deeply appreciative of Russian forces, Russian Federation forces, for finally acting to put an end to this madness that's been happening for 8 years. 8 years of living with this.
All right, you guys. I love y'all. See y'all in the morning. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace out. Cyber says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.